From a protective monkey mother to a hero dog who sacrificed everything to save his family, here are 10 animals who end their lives for others. Number 10. Monkey mums. Monkey mums are every bit as ferocious as human mums. There's no better example of this than a recent event in Thailand in which a monkey mother died protecting her baby from another angry monkey in Muang Chonburi. This is a classic case of a mother sacrificing herself to save her young. It happened on a hill populated by multitudes of small monkeys. The attack was carried out by an alpha male and possibly the leader of the troop. It's not clear why the rude male monkey attacked the monkey mother, but he did. The poor baby monkey was only about a week old. A fierce battle ensued with the mother and the alpha male. The alpha male won by a landslide and the mother passed away due to her wounds. And even though the baby monkey sustained injuries from the larger male, it survived the battle thanks to its mother's protection. In the end, it was actually a group of tourists who witnessed the fight and scared away the alpha male before calling animal control to help. Workers with the Sanisek Veterinary Centre then took away the baby monkey and treated the animal at a local wildlife station. The young monkey is now expected to make a full recovery and will later be released into the wild, where hopefully the alpha male doesn't seek some kind of revenge. Number 9. Hero Housecat. A hero housecat by the name of Arthur recently died protecting a couple of young children from a dangerous snake outside in the garden. This is a remarkable case of a pet feline sacrificing itself to save members of its human family. Arthur the cat was playing in the garden with the kids in their Australian home when out of nowhere an eastern brown snake began slithering towards them. According to the Animal Emergency Service that got involved, the housecat pounced on the snake and killed the reptile before it could strike at the kids. But unfortunately for Arthur, he was bit during the fight and injected with some of the most toxic venom on the planet. Eastern brown snakes are wildly venomous and can kill a human in mere seconds, meaning the poor cat had absolutely no chance. The eastern brown snake has also been described by Australian Geographic as agile and highly aggressive, explaining why it was so keen on attacking the children. Arthur collapsed immediately after the fight and was quickly brought to the vet. He did not recover from his injuries. Understandably, the family was devastated, but they will remember their hero cat for as long as they live for saving their young kids' lives. But here's the flip side of the story. Did Arthur really attack the snake and sacrifice itself purposely to save the children? Or was it just trying to play with the slithery creature it found in the garden? People may praise the cat as being brave and selfless, but the truth is it may have just been acting on instinct and trying to eat the snake with absolutely no regard for the children. What do you think? Number 8. Exploding ants. There is a species of ant known for exploding in self-sacrifice to save their colony. This has been labelled by Science magazine as the ultimate act of self-sacrifice. They explode to release a toxic fluid stored inside their abdomens, killing intruders trying to invade their colony. During the explosion, the toxic fluid kills the intruders and the ants themselves. These amazing ants can be found in Brunei. Researchers studied a nest that they found outside of their field centre, doing thorough analysis of the ants and their DNA and their behaviour. What they discovered was the first new species of exploding ant since the early 1900s. The species has been nicknamed yellow goo for the toxic fluid that they burst out of their abdomens. But how does this defense mechanism work? When the worker ant realizes it's going to lose a fight, it will contract its abdominal muscles violently so that its insides rupture and the mandibular glands inside of it burst, spraying the toxic sticky secretion in every direction. The secretion is not only sticky like glue, but also corrosive. It's basically a chemical irritant which immobilizes every nearby enemy and friend alike. These are the kamikaze fighter pilots of the insect world. Number 7. Maximum hormones. There is a male marsupial that cares so much about having children that it dies trying, and the science behind the sacrificial procreation is absolutely horrifying. The small marsupial is the Antichinus, and scientists say that males die in huge numbers after mating with as many female partners as possible in sessions that last up to 14 hours straight. This would put a strain on even the most robust human. And yet these tiny marsupials mate with such unbridled intensity that they literally die trying to spread along their genes. This may not seem like self-sacrifice, and one might argue that there are certainly worse ways to go out. But the truth is that these little marsupials end their lives so that their children can be born. The more mating that the little marsupial does, the higher a chance of making babies. This is why they mate with as many females as possible and for as long as possible. This instinctual drive to breed is enhanced by ridiculously high levels of hormones, such as testosterone, that spin the little marsupials into a frenzy. Even more amazing is that according to the Daily Mail, the Antechinus was only discovered a couple of years ago. They've been evading scientists literally forever. But when researcher Dr. Diana Fisher captured several of them and allowed them to breed in captivity, she was shocked when almost the entire population of males died following the end of a mating session that lasted for 2 weeks. Why do you think the Antechinus was only recently discovered? Where was it hiding? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And while you're at it, like this video and subscribe too. Number 6. Sacrificial spider mums. Spider mums are some of the best mums in the world, and they often sacrifice themselves for some pretty commendable reasons. Scientists have discovered one species of social spider in which females with no children take babysitting to a whole new level. Virgin females will care for their neighbours' baby spiders as if the babies were their own. They will tend to the egg sac and even become lunch for the hungry hatchlings. These spiders live in some of the drier areas of southern Africa and build huge nests inside of trees and shrubs. Unlike typical spiders, this species lacks the kind of glue droplet webbing that most spiders use to build webs in trees. This means that they build their webs close to the ground and that their webs can grow very large. These spiders have been caught basically building houses, with neighbouring spiders creating kind of a community. According to biologist Anja Junghans from Germany, they cooperate in building webs and in capturing prey that can be up to 10 times the size of just one spider. And here's where the sacrifice comes in. When spiderlings are born, their mother will provide them with as much nutritious fluid as possible. When that fluid runs out, the mother will allow the spiderlings to eat her. And in the case of spiders who don't have spiderlings, they will sometimes step in for the mother, allowing themselves to be eaten so that the spider babies and their mother can live. Number 5. Octopus mums. Octopuses are known as semmelporous animals. This means that they reproduce only once in their lifetime and then die almost immediately after. When a female octopus has finished laying her clutch of eggs, she becomes such a fearsome protector of those eggs that she sits over them, not eating, and slowly wasting away to nothing, guarding the eggs until the moment they hatch, at which point she is so tired and starved and wasted that she dies. But what's really bizarre is that females in captivity have been seen trying to hasten their own death after their eggs hatch by smashing themselves off the sides of their tank or eating pieces of their own tentacles. What biologists have figured out is that the female octopus has a type of self-destruct hormone inside of her optic gland that is probably triggered after laying eggs. Scientists haven't figured out quite how this gland works, but they do know that if the optic gland is removed after a female octopus has given birth, she will abandon her eggs and keep feeding and even mate again later on. It's this single hormone that seems to keep the octopus from abandoning her children. Number 4. The salmon sacrifice. Salmon have a pretty strange life cycle. They have a very strict life plan from the moment they are born. Pacific salmon begin life in freshwater streams, lakes or rivers. They eventually migrate into the ocean. Then, after swimming around for a while, they return home to spawn and ultimately die. It is the definition of the circle of life. Adult salmon almost always return to the very waters where they were first born. And in an absolute miracle of nature, the male and female salmon are so in sync that at the exact moment the male releases fertilization, the female releases her eggs. This equals fertilized eggs. The female salmon then prepares a sort of nest for the eggs to wait in until they're hatched, which she then covers with gravel. But here's where the salmon sacrifice gets interesting. While the eggs are protected under a layer of gravel waiting to hatch, both parents die. This usually happens just a couple of days after spawning. Their bodies are then washed ashore to decay and typically are eaten by other species. This helps to nourish the environment and to feed the woodland predators. In a way, salmon sacrifice themselves not only to breed, but also for the betterment and sustainability of the natural world they live in. Number 3. Bad quackers. In 2013, the quacker became known as the happiest animal on Earth because of its friendly demeanour and adorable smile. They're like tiny kangaroos mixed with squirrels and koala bears. There's nothing quite as cute. And yet the quacker has also recently earned the title of worst parent in the world. The quacker mother is the exact opposite of the kinds of animals we've been talking about today. Instead of sacrificing themselves to protect their baby, The quokka mother will actually throw her baby to distract a predator and protect itself. This is the complete opposite of self-sacrifice, using a baby like a piece of sausage to distract a hungry dog. However, there is a bit more to it. The quokka will not actually throw her baby at a predator like a football. They don't have the physical strength to do something like that. Instead, the quokka will expel her offspring from her pouch when a predator is nearby. The mother will escape the danger because the noise being made from the squalling infant attracts the predator's attention. And this is factual according to a scientific research paper published in academia back in 2005. Number 2. Hero dogs. If there's one animal on Earth that is known to end its life for the sake of others, it is of course the dog. No animal is quite as determined to protect its owner as the loyal canine. There is no better example of this than the heroic Jack Russell that was mauled to death while saving her 10-year-old owner from the deadly teeth of a rabid wolf. It all happened during a game of hide and seek in Russia. The young boy was hiding from his siblings when the wolf emerged out of the darkness of the forest. The boy didn't see the wolf coming, but Jessie the Jack Russell did. In an almost unbelievable act of bravery, the tiny dog got between her boy owner and the ferocious woodland predator and tried to chase it off. Her defense gave the boy enough time to run for safety and inform his parents of what was going on. By the time his father got outside to deal with the wolf, Jessie the Jack Russell was severely wounded and soaked in blood. She died soon after, but if it hadn't been for her courage, the young boy would have been the one in the wolf's jaws. Number 1. Harambe The Protector. The death of Harambe shocked the world. It was also one of the most controversial animal deaths in recent memory. The incident happened when a visitor at Cincinnati Zoo lost their 3-year-old boy. The kid crawled into the gorilla enclosure and ended up stuck with Harambe. In videos taken by tourists, Harambe can be seen placing his massive hand on the child and pulling the kid towards him. Experts say that the male western lowland silverback gorilla may have been protecting the child rather than trying to hurt him. But of course, nobody saw it like that at the time. Onlookers shouted and screamed and hung over the bars of the enclosure, likely terrifying the 450-pound or over 200-kilogram gorilla who didn't understand what was going on. The zoo security team then launched into action and shot the gorilla to death, allegedly to save the child's life. But what animal experts say is that the child wasn't in any danger and that Harambe was acting in a nurturing manner, protecting the young boy who he may have thought was in danger after tumbling into the enclosure. Harambe was likely trying to drag the child into a safe place. Unfortunately, the ape was far too large to look like a caretaker, and by dragging the kid through the moat in the enclosure, he scared a lot of people. Putting Harambe down may have been the right decision at the time, but what people don't realise is that Harambe had probably only gone to the child in the first place to see if he was okay. And in the end, that act of possible selflessness got Harambe shot. Thanks for watching. How do you feel about Harambe's death? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for even more great content.